Talk Real Estate with Sharon McNamara, sponsored by Boston Connect Real Estate Services.
Hi, I'm Sharon McNamara, and you are listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable. Let me share a little bit about my background before we get started. I am the broker-owner of Boston Connect Real Estate, a boutique real estate firm that is home to over 30 real estate sales and marketing consultants who service home buyers and home sellers throughout Boston, the South Shore, the South Coast, and Cape Cod. Our firm takes pride in assisting our clients in the next chapter of their lives by taking a holistic approach to their real estate endeavors. We believe that every move should be a moving experience. Every week, my real estate team member, Mary Baker, and I, along with the director of Boston Connect Real Estate, Melissa Wallace, provide you with our unique marketing approach to selling homes and share with you our expertise in navigating the home buying process. We like to mix it up sometimes, so not only will you hear our perspective on real estate topics, but you will hear the expert thoughts and opinions of some of our real estate agents at Boston Connect Real Estate and the preferred professionals that we trust. Be part of our roundtable. If you have any questions during the show, please call 781-837-4900. We'd love to talk real estate. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and wherever you listen to podcasts at Talk Real Estate Roundtable. If you would like a one-on-one consultation with me and my team or one of the dedicated agents at Boston Connect Real Estate to discuss your real estate needs, you can connect with us at bostonconnect.com or 781-826-8000. Now, sit back, relax, take good notes, and let's talk real estate.
Does it matter? And hello to all my South Shore neighbors. You are listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable. My name is Melissa Wallace, and I am joined in studio tonight by Sharon McNamara. She's around here somewhere. But we have the very, very special guest tonight. We have Kristen Howlett, who is a full-time real estate agent here at Boston Connect Real Estate. Hello, Kristen.
Hello, Melissa.
Hello. Do you have your headphones on?
I
right? Do. Okay, good. So, Kristen, you have joined us before. So why don't you sort of reintroduce yourself to our listeners, who you are, how long you've been in the business, what areas you service, all that fun stuff while I get us ready on Facebook.
Okay. So, my name is Kristen Howlett. I'm a full-time realtor at Boston Connect. Yes. That's it.
No. This Kristen's a little distracted. Okay, so what are the areas that you service?
Everywhere.
Anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere and anywhere. Perfect.
Yep.
Okay.
Anywhere.
Whatever.
I recently just drove up to Sturbridge.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Well, you are a Bridgewater resident, though.
Resident. Mm-hmm.
So
I'm
that's
a local expert.
Local expert in Bridgewater. Mm-hmm. But you have been coming into the office pretty regularly for the past few years that you've been here. And, we love having you on. Even though we get a little silly, we love having you on. But so tonight, we are going to be talking about the pros and cons of selling and buying in the winter months. We were just told by that little groundhog that we were going to have 6 more weeks of winter, so we thought it might be a little bit appropriate to go over this, right?
I like that.
We had our first office meeting of the year yesterday. So we tried to have a monthly office meeting with all of our agents to sort of go over everything that's happening in the industry. There's Sharon. To go over everything that's going in the industry, what's new, what's different. Typically, all the trends that happen out west move over to the East Coast. So we try to be up to date with all that stuff. And then we sort of just have an open discussion. So that's how we also like to do monthly or weekly trainings. So that's how we're going to be doing like an open discussion tomorrow because of something that came up during our office meeting. But
we love to talk.
We love to talk.
We talk it out.
We love to talk real estate.
Mm-hmm. We talk it out.
We talk it out. Okay, so we are going to be talking about the pros and cons of buying and selling in the winter. So I thought maybe we could start with the buyers.
Okay.
And we'll start with the cons so that way we can end the show on a positive note.
Okay. Yeah.
So when it comes to buyers, okay, we, it could be difficult to view a property in the wintertime. So that could be a con, correct?
Did you happen to see the meme I shared the other day?
No. What did you share?
I wish I could bring it up. Basically, I went to an open house in Middleborough, and the homeowner did not shovel the driveway. So I was slipping and sliding.
Slipping and sliding.
There was a huge portion of the driveway that was not even touched. This was Saturday.
Today's Tuesday.
This was.
Does that help you?
This was Saturday.
If you are watching us on Facebook, so we are live on Facebook, Boston Connect Real Estate. We've shared it all on the Connect pages, McNamara Broker Team, everything. If you can see Kristen's face when she was just trying to figure out what day it was, it's like a deer in headlights. Because honestly, in real estate, do you really know what day it is? No. You just know that you have to get to an appointment at some point.
Well, I did have a smoke inspection this morning that I wrote down 10. I thought it was 10. And I had plenty of time. I was getting my coffee. I was bringing my seller coffee this morning. And guess what? It was at 9.
Yeah, but was it really at 9, or did somebody else make a mistake?
Maybe. I was only 5 minutes away, so it was not a big deal. And we did pass with flying colors. So,
is this for your? Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get into all this part, I just want to make sure that all of our listeners do have a chance to get in touch with you if they want to. So at the end, we always sort of rush and get through your contact information. So why don't you give all of our listeners your contact information, how they can get in touch with you, buyer, seller, whatever. How can they get in touch with you?
Phone. 617-448-4896.
One more time.
617-448-4896. Nice. Facebook. You can direct message me on Facebook. I'm going to connect my profile on this masterpiece. And yes, so reach out. Listen, if anyone is on the fence about selling their house right now, you've got to do it because it's insane.
It's insane. It is. I can't even. I think Lori Reaney, who is a full-time real estate agent here in Boston Connect, she just put a house on the market in Lakeville, I believe, and she had over 50 groups come through her open house over the weekend. So
I had a buyer who just put an offer in over the weekend, and sadly, her offer was not accepted, but the agent just got back to me today, and he had 17 offers. It's a cute house, super cute.
Yeah.
But 17 offers.
Yeah. So it's sort of still roaring out there. But hi Sharon, are you joining us or no? No.
So back to the cons is that you have a responsibility to shovel.
Yeah.
Make sure that because that can happen in a minute.
Yeah.
Everything ices over. You've got to have salt on the ready.
Well, we're on buyers.
Yeah, for the buyers to come to the open house for even showings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as a buyer, I'm saying it could be dangerous.
Oh yeah, so wear your boots.
Yeah, wear your boots.
Yeah.
Wear your boots.
And not the cute ones.
Bring your walking sticks.
You need traction.
I agree. But what sort of stuck out to me when it comes to buyers and looking for a home to purchase in the winter months was all the things that you might not be able to inspect during a home inspection. Mm-hmm. So say you get your offer accepted and now you put in a home inspection as one of your contingencies. Now you're at your home inspection. There are things that you aren't going to be able to inspect. So it might be the pool. It might be the roof, and that might be because it's covered in snow. So if the roof needs repairs, you might not be able to see that. But on the flip side, if there is snow and all that stuff, it might cause more damage, and you'll be able to see if there's leaks.
Right.
So there's it's a flip side of it, but still you want to be able to inspect everything. You're paying to have a home inspection. You're paying to purchase this home. You want to be able to inspect everything.
Right.
But what are some other things that you might not be able to inspect during the winter?
I'm thinking in particular, even up until today, there was still so much snow, so you couldn't see like the driveway.
Yeah.
The driveway was in, and I just had an appraisal done, and I felt compelled to tell the appraiser that, this, you can't see it under this blanket of snow, but honestly, she just had this all repaved and redone, and it was hard to see that.
Yeah. And that's sort of a selling point. And for you, as a listing agent, if you're marketing this home that says, oh, it has, beautiful landscaping, and it has a beautiful pool, and it has, a brand new this or that on the exterior, and it's covered in snow, well, how are they going to see that? How are they going to appreciate those great things about that house?
This can be such, it's beautiful when the snow just falls, but then no matter what, it's that gray, yucky snow, which even the nicest house is gonna not look great with all that.
Yeah. Because I don't even know if this is on the buyer side or the seller side. We focus so much on curb appeal, and we've talked about it so much because of, busy open houses and people are standing outside and that's all they have to look at and all this stuff. I actually just came up with a memory on my Instagram and on Facebook. A year ago, I think yesterday, I was helping Kelly Keelan with her open house in Rockland last year, and I had over 120 people come through the open house, and I remember standing outside with my little clipboard waiting, to check everybody in, because obviously we're in COVID times and there can only be a few people in the house at once, but waiting outside for hours, and all people had to look at in the snow was the house outside. So it's the curb appeal that you aren't able to sort of get the full shebang.
And we really are in such it's not normal times that even, we can talk about the pros and cons of selling in the winter, but really it's all pros right now. Selling at any time.
Yeah.
Winter, summer, spring, fall.
Winter sun. What's that song?
We just happen to be in winter.
Okay. Okay, so I say, so pool, roof, anything covered by snow or frozen shut. So this is something that happened to me over the weekend where I was pretty much running out of gas in my car on Saturday, and I couldn't, my gas tank has, I have a button to, pop the door open, but I would press the button and the door wouldn't open, so I tried to, pry it open, but it was frozen shut. So luckily, I was smart enough to, park my car where I knew that, the sun would hit it on Sunday morning. So, hopefully it would melt, that side, and it did. So I was able to get gas on Sunday. I was literally, on E.
It's the story of my life.
Story of my life. But pretty much anything covered by snow or frozen shut, the foundation around the house, it could be tough to, if there's snow on the ground, it can be tough to inspect those, right around the foundation, or if there's any windows that are, to the basement, that could be tough.
Sure.
And also the air conditioning system. You can't turn the AC on in the wintertime, just like you wouldn't turn the heating system. So what do you do in that
situation, Melissa?
Well, there are
workarounds.
There's workarounds, but also, if you're at a certain point in the season where it might be almost the end of winter or almost the end of summer, and you might be switching over, you might be opening the pool sooner. I feel like it comes up more with pools.
Yeah.
That it could be when you put in your offer, it can be contingent on XYZ, or it could be contingent on you getting all of the receipts and everything that these things have been serviced correctly in the past few years. And unfortunately, that just is going to have to be good enough.
Right. And I think your answer to that is that even though it's the winter and maybe you can't inspect in a way that you normally would, there's a solution to every problem.
There's a solution to every problem. And that's why, we have these roundtable discussions in our office is because we might have an issue or something that comes up, and we get sort of everybody's, not opinion, but everybody's, what would you do in this situation? And I feel like that is really helpful for all of us.
Ironically, my word of 2022 is prepared.
Prepared.
And I like to be prepared for the best and the worst. And sometimes I fall in the middle.
Well, that's important.
Mm-hmm. Everybody just needs to be prepared.
You just have to be prepared. But anyways, okay. So unable to inspect. Anything else when it comes to inspections? Can you stop laughing at me? Anything else with inspections before we move on?
I don't think so.
Okay. Fewer homes on the market to choose from. So I put that as a con for a buyer potentially, because if you are a buyer and you're very particular or you're very picky, if there's one or two houses for sale in any of the towns that you like, if they don't meet all of your criteria, then you probably aren't going to purchase it. So that might be sort of a negative for you as a buyer, because there aren't enough properties for you to choose from.
Right.
And on the flip side, and I know we're talking about buyers, as a seller, there aren't a lot of properties on the market. So if a buyer comes along, they've been looking for a long time, they might have changed sort of what they're looking for. They're willing to compromise. So it is a pro for a seller to be on the market in the winter months.
100%.
But I think sometimes maybe somebody who just started their search and is very set in their ways and wants what they want, they might not be able to find that.
I do think even in buyer times right now, it is important to even just take a peek. I'll give it for instance. I have a buyer who's looking, and she's in a bit of a time crunch, and she's stressed out about it, or she was. So we were on our way to look at a particular property, and we were a little bit early, and she said, we both had seen the same house, and it kept coming up, but the front picture was not very appealing. It was not something that either of us thought that we should get a second look at. But we had some time. They had an open house. We ended up going by there. She fell in love with it. Mm-hmm. She put an offer in on the spot. It was accepted. She's out of her mind excited. But the point is, we passed it. It had been on. It's new construction, but it had been on for 2 weeks, and we just kept passing it. And that's a perfect example of, you've got to check it out.
Yeah.
And where there's fewer houses on the market, even more of a reason to go. It's rainy. Put your heat on, grab a coffee, get in the car, drive around, and just go at least look, because you're gonna find what you don't like too.
Yeah.
And you might find what you like.
Yeah. I agree. If you want to join in on our discussion, you can give George a call at the studio, 781-837-4900. Or if you're shy, you can go on Facebook and leave us a comment to join in on the discussion.
I have a great idea, too.
Oh, okay.
I'll table it afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Well, I listen to the podcast all the time. Have you heard? So sometimes people, they leave voicemails, voice memos. Maybe they're a little bit too shy to call in, but they feel confident enough to ask a question, and then we can play those at a later time.
You can also just call in and talk to George as well. He can chime in. He's got a voice for radio. So if you would like George to ask your question, you can give him a call. Again, the phone number is 781-837-4900. Give us a call to say hi. Right?
Let us know what you think is a pro or a con of selling your house in the winter.
Yeah.
Or buying a house in the winter.
Buying. Something else that I thought of was, as a con for a buyer, would be it's hard to move. And this is actually for both buyers and sellers. With the weather, I think it can be difficult to actually physically move. So think about on Friday, I would never want to drive or move all of my belongings in a sleet storm or whatever it was on Friday, where it rained, but it was freezing and everything. It can be dangerous. So I think with weather permitting and weather changing so much every day, it can be difficult to pack up a truck or pack up anything and just move because things can be closed. The registry can be closed. So a closing might have to be pushed, especially if it's on a Friday. Then now you're waiting for the whole weekend.
That recently just happened to me. It got bumped out a day.
Because of weather?
Because of weather.
Yeah.
Registry of Deeds was closed on Friday. On a Friday.
Yeah. And last Friday wasn't the first Friday of the month, or last Friday of the month. Because usually, typically, the last Friday of every month is a big closing day. But yeah, so it's just something that I thought of, like moving and the registry might be closed. It could be hard, as a buyer or as a seller to move physically.
Well, that's why you have a fantastic agent.
Yes.
That helps you with all of the...
helps you pack up all the boxes and move them. We have some of those agents that, will pack up their own truck. I remember Matt Mahoney just showed up in his Sunday best, ready to do a final walkthrough, and his sellers had not moved out yet. So he was,
all hands
in
on
his
deck.
nice dress shoes, all hands on deck, packing his big red truck. With
There's
everything, trying to get out.
Won't do. Well,
Nothing we won't do. And we are joined by the one and only Sharon McNamara.
Hello there.
Hello.
Yes. I was just doing some stuff around the office.
You're not on the camera.
I'm not on camera. I know.
No.
That's okay. There I am. Hello. I'll move over in a minute. One of the things that I think that this is obviously a very timely topic that we have right now with all the snow and the ice, which I thought was worse than the snow, by the way. Other people might think differently. I didn't have to shovel it, so just a little. But one of the things is if you are a buyer or a seller, one of the things that you should always think about are those snow days, because they happen on a Friday. And if you have your closing scheduled, you have your movers all set up, you're all ready to go, maybe you have some place for the kids or the dogs or whatever, and then there's no move because of the snow. That's why I like to, in the winter months, I like to have a closing maybe on a Wednesday or a Thursday, so you have at least a hiccup day. Because if you close on a Friday and you can't close on a Friday, that means you're not closing all weekend until the registry opens again on Monday. So that's something to think about when you're writing up your offer.
That just happened to my client. Yeah. Thank God she had somewhere to stay, but it was very inconvenient.
Yeah. So these are just things that you need to sort of prepare for when the weather is, unexpected. Okay, so something else that I had seen is like less daylight for showings. So showings are always great to do during the day. Unfortunately, some people might not be able to leave work during the day, so they have to do their showings at night. Obviously, it's lighter outside during the summertime at nighttime, but less daylight to be able to sort of see everything. Again, this is the exterior, and even inside, because there are rooms that don't have lights.
But you know what? You're 100% right, and I didn't realize that until I actually went to go show a house in the dark, and it was not fun.
Especially like properties that don't have like electricity.
Proper lighting, or even trying to get the lockbox open, and
a lockbox could be frozen.
Yeah, you're not familiar
I like to have hot tea with me. So if the lockbox is frozen, I pour my tea on it to unlock it. Not kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else for cons before we move on to pros? Because we got to get a little bit more positive around here.
So the negatives, we were just talking about all the negatives of both buyers and sellers?
No,
Sorry,
just buyers.
Oh, just buyers? Okay. So you did the obvious. Can't see the roof, can't see the foundation, can't see really anything in all that snow. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So moving on to pros. Ladies, what do you think some of the pros are to purchasing a home in the winter?
Again, I think the snow can be absolutely beautiful.
You're not purchasing snow. You're purchasing...
No, but some houses are winter houses, and they just look beautiful, and some people are into that. It can be very pretty and picturesque.
Okay, so maybe not the snow, but maybe decorated for the holidays. It might be nice to sort of...
Well, with the bad weather, it's a really good time, especially we had all that rain and, ice and everything else. I mean, it's a good way to check to see if there's ice dams, if there's any, damage going on with the roof, any leaks going on in the ceilings and in the basements, Remember bad storm we had in, July, August? it's a really good time to see if there's 3 inches of water in the basement.
Yeah, I had said earlier, it's a con to not be able to see the roof. However, on the flip side of that is you could see if it's leaking. But I think that, even though we said that less inventory might be a con, it also is a pro because...
Totally.
Oh, go ahead. Why?
You like not
Totally.
For a seller? Yeah, but for a buyer, no.
Oh, are we talking about buyers?
Yeah, we're talking about buyers.
Oh, we're talking about the pros for the buyers.
Yeah, we're talking about pros for the buyers.
Yeah. So one of the things is that so one of the things with buyers that I actually was reading on today, and I was telling Kristen and actually Melissa earlier that I really never thought about it. I mean, I guess I do, but I don't, is, a lot of times our clients will say to us, oh, we want to do it in the spring. We want to list our home in the spring because of all of the, the greens and, everything has grown in and all that. But if you think about it from a buyer perspective, I'd rather see what's there than what's hidden. Because if you think about New England, I mean, the leaves start falling in autumn and then they're down for the winter, and then they don't start really coming back until late spring and early, summer. So you don't know what lies beneath, what's in your backyard for real. Could it be, somebody who, basically stores old broken down vehicles and crap.
But that's a good point because
or
if there's
barrels
a tree
of
there,
oil.
Yeah.
Which has happened.
But if there's a tree there, that maybe it'll be a little less sightly in the summer.
In the summer,
yeah, when the spring comes, when the leaves start to fill in, and yeah, that's a good point. Yep.
When I was looking up some things to put into the agenda earlier, it said less buyers looking in the winter statistically, so there's less competition as a buyer if a house comes on the market. However, I don't know if that really still.
I think it's a finite period of time that it's like holidays. Because I think we all feel that right now, that the holidays from Thanksgiving to just about maybe a week or 2 weeks ago, yes, there was much less competition. But now I think everybody's like right back in the saddle.
Yeah. What do you think about days on market in the winter months?
Go ahead.
I guess I'm having a hard time talking about this because we're in such a not normal market
Yeah, when I understand what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Everything that I was looking at and thinking of, it's like, yes, maybe 2 years ago, but right now it's just so weird. Like, like I know we've been going through this for 2 years, but it's really ever changing. But it's almost like a weird, like it's everly weird changing.
Yeah, so weird in a way that now that if we see a property that's been on the market for an extended amount of time, that it's like now we would say what's wrong with it versus because this market has been so hectic and so crazy and out of control and reckless that everything has been selling. So when you see something that's been on the market for a while, you tend to think, why is that still on the market? I can understand during the holidays, though, people do sort of put their brakes on a little bit. But I know we've had a couple listings in the office that were sort of straggling there a little bit. They sort of get lost, too. It matters when you put it on the market, because if you put it on right at that time when everybody's sort of forgotten about real estate, they don't see it as new in MLS or wherever they're looking. So by the time they go to look at it, now this one house Jess Page had, she had it for a while, no showing. There was hardly any showings and hardly any offers. And then before you know it, everybody wanted it.
Yeah, I went to her open house a couple weekends ago and like the place was packed. I walked in and I'm like, is this the same house we've been talking about?
Yeah, I think because all those buyers were basically like, I'm going to wait until after the first of the year.
Yeah.
And they all woke up from their slumber.
Yeah, I think everybody sort of takes a cat nap for a little while and then everybody sort of jumps back in. So that's why when I walked in, or even when I pulled up, this is why it's super important to maintain, and I know I'm jumping, but as a seller, it's maintain the exterior of your house with safety, because it was like one of the first times that like it snowed, like really snowed. So at that, it was snowing actively when we got there. So it was, tough to sort of see where the driveway was, where, everything was. So, so it could be hard to get showings even in the wintertime because of safety issues. But I showed up and I'm like, I know I'm at the right house, but like, did I time travel or like what happened? Like where, like, I thought that,
A lot of people
that
had a
this
lot of
house
showings
had
this past
been-
weekend too, right? I know Laurie
Laurie had over 50 people come to her open house. Matt Mahoney, who has a beautiful, beautiful house in Sagamore Beach, had, I believe, 26 groups come through, multiple offers. So they're both doing great. Fantastic.
And I think with
but-
that too is, we had sort of that week off in between the, with football. So the Super Bowl was coming up this weekend. So last weekend, I think a lot of people were probably out and about.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is surprising because, Friday with the, I don't even know what kind of storm that was.
Ice storm, yeah.
Ice storm, everybody sort of came out Saturday and Sunday and
for
really
sure.
was
Yeah.
like really looking. So clearly we had, over 75 people at our open houses this weekend. So, and that's just us. That's just two. That's just two houses. So
that you're right. That is a big con about the seller is responsible because we don't shovel.
Exactly.
We don't.
No.
The agent, you need to have a good agent that's on top of it to tell you, to remind you, because it's a big deal. People need access to your house.
Yeah. Did you discuss that, the liability?
we haven't gotten to sellers yet.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yep. So we can move on to sellers. Is there anything else you want to talk about when it comes to buyers?
The positives of doing it in the winter?
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay. Moving on to sellers. So, cons or pros, we can just we have 15 minutes left, so we
Well,
can
here's
just
a positive, maybe, for a buyer, is that there isn't as much hecticness going on. So you might be able to close sooner and things like that because a lot of the loan officers, the attorneys, everybody, home inspectors, you can easily get appointments with people. So there isn't as much activity in this time of year. So things are a little more streamlined and a little faster.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Moving on to sellers. What do you guys think some cons are? So we started to talk about it. So you're responsible for the maintenance of your home, which you always are. However, now you're going to be inviting people into your home. So now
It's a little
you're
added maintenance.
You're responsible for their safety.
Yeah. And that salt that you put outside, that I learned today is the doer of all evil when it comes to the roads.
Oh, yeah.
But now they're bringing, you need it because you don't want icy conditions outside and someone falling and slipping, but now they're bringing that in the house.
Yeah.
So those booties that we all bought for COVID definitely would come into play now too.
A lot of people tell you to take off your shoes.
Yeah.
I'm not a big advocate of that. You think about that. I mean,
Then you get everybody's oils everywhere.
yeah, the sweaty socks and everything else, and then the oil from the bottom of their feet and everything all over your hardwood floors.
Yeah, and we have a lot of fun socks that might be
I thought you were gonna say
embarrassing.
funk.
No, we have a lot of funk. No, we have a lot of fun socks that might be a little embarrassing for people to actually see. I know.
I'm the queen of I always go sockless.
What?
Even in the winter sometimes.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No. Oh no. I can't have my shoes. I can't have my shoes touching my.
I have those little peds on that fell off about 12 o'clock this afternoon, so they're floating around in my
Oh gosh. No, you're responsible for the safety of your guests into your home. So,
And I think we touched on number 2 too, that because of that, you need to maintain your house. You need a little Swiffer.
yeah, maintain the cleanliness
Maybe grab
of your
a
house.
Swiffer and have your real estate agent. I would totally Swiffer anyone's floors.
Yeah, I do the Swiffer, and
Yeah.
I would clean and sweep, and I've done all that. But back to with the shoveling and everything, we as agents, one of the office policies here is that we don't allow our agents to do the shoveling. We ask them not to do that. Just because in Massachusetts, he who holds the shovel last is the one that owns the lawsuit. So that's why we ask our clients, we tell our clients that we should be telling our clients that we can't do it.
Yeah.
So if it is snowing during an open house, they really have to do a good job of getting it prepared for that open house.
Yeah, It's dangerous. It's dangerous out there, everybody.
We just had a closing, with the 24 inches of snow, and unfortunately our client is sick, so unfortunately unable to do the shoveling and all that other stuff. And they had a company come in, and we made sure it was plowed, like the driveway and everything, but they had already moved out and they were living somewhere else already. And Mary went over there to do like just a final walkthrough, and she got there and she's like, the guy that plowed the driveway didn't shovel the walkways. And the final walkthrough was the next day with the buyers. So I ended up hiring my nephews to go over there and shovel it. And it was a lot of snow.
Yeah.
To that and to the garage. To the shed. So yeah, just have to, if you're going to shovel, you have to shovel it all.
Yeah.
I believe it.
If you have any questions, feel free to give us a buzz, 781-837-4900. You are listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable here with myself, Sharon McNamara, Melissa Wallace, and Kristen Howlett, who is a full-time real estate agent here at Boston Connect. And she's one of the best of the best, and she's always willing to come here and do the show. I was going to take tonight off, just feeling, I've been up. I didn't sleep well last night, and Melissa's like, just go home, we'll take care of it. And then I was roaming around, and I was like, boy, I'm getting drawn to the mic. So,
because we're fun.
Yeah. But if you have any questions, feel free to give us a buzz, 781-837-4900, and George will get you right through to us.
I think another con for a seller is the possibility of damage to the home is greater during, the winter months because of the weather conditions. So I just think super windy, especially the past couple weeks, with our storms, quote unquote,
very
super
good
windy. So possibility of trees falling, snow damage, everything, those are things that you would have to sort of address immediately if your house is already on the market or you're preparing to put it on the market with, something that you aren't going to be putting your house on the market. If, a tree falls in the woods that way, you might let it lay there for a little while, but if your house is on the market and the buyer finds that out, they're like, out of there, get it out of there, or it damages the fence or anything. These are all expenses that you would have to take care of if your house is on the market.
Right.
You know what I mean? Especially with what if water, there's water damage, so ice dams. So, something with the roof, or there's water in the basement. These are all things that you would have to address and take care of. Immediately. You should, anyways, if you're living in the house.
Days too, with the rain and the snow melting and the water. It feels
it was so everywhere. It was warm today, sort of. I didn't even wear a jacket, and I'm wearing my heaviest sweater. I bought this heavy sweater in Oak Bluffs last summer when Captain Mark brought Sharon, Mary, and I to Oak Bluffs for the weekend, and we went into this little shop, and I was like, oh, I really love that sweater, and then I didn't buy it, left, and I thought about it all night, and I was woke up the next morning, I have to go back to that shop and get that sweater. And I did, and I decided to wear it on the warmest day in the past few weeks. So I'm pretty hot today. But the possibility of damage to the home is greater in weather conditions in the wintertime. I feel that.
And I think, again, I feel compelled to point out that any of the cons that we're talking about right now, they really have a minimal effect on this market on February, what is today? February
8th, I think.
2022.
I can't believe it's February 28th.
Yeah.
28th. 28th.
It's February.
It's February 8th, 2022.
So we have to look at both sides because that's what we do. But to be completely honest, anyone, do it the right way. Make your house ready, get great pictures, and do the right thing. But anything right now that's going on, if it's priced right, it's going to sell.
Yeah.
I can't say that enough. It is.
I can't say it enough. Mm-hmm. If it's priced right, it's going to sell.
It's going to sell.
Just like anything else.
Yep. And if it's your dream to, move on up, do it.
Moving on up, moving on. Isn't that a song?
Sure is.
I just, like I say, there's a bum for every seat, and people are willing to pay what they're willing to pay.
Well, I'll tell this last story that my buyers and I went to look at a house. It had been on for quite a while, and it said subject to seller finding suitable housing, but I was confused because the picture showed that it was vacant. So I called the agent. He called me back a couple of days later and said, well, the house actually isn't vacant. I just chose to use the older pictures because it made it look better.
Oh, interesting.
Let's just say there was a reason that it was on for quite a while.
Oh, because the pictures made it look better once people showed up there.
Oh, yeah.
That's a little deceiving.
But it was a little deceiving, but I was happy to see the other day that it is under agreement.
Oh, nice.
So to
But at
answer
least-
your question, I mean, to reiterate there's a bump
Statement.
for every chair. There
Yeah.
certainly is.
Well, I mean, kudos to you for realizing, looking through and saying, well, why do they have to find suitable housing? It looks like they've already found somewhere to live. So that's why you reached out to them. So kudos to you, Kristen Howlett.
That's me. I'm on top of
It's
it.
all in the details, everybody. But we, when we put a listing on, we generally use a professional photographer. So we don't like to advertise something that's not there. So it's to capture exactly what's at the house at that moment, because that's what buyers are going to be looking for. You never want to waste anybody's time either.
Not at all.
And you saw that house, right? Did you see it in person?
Oh, I did.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So was it a waste of your time?
It was a waste of my time. It was a waste of our time.
Yeah.
It was.
That's what's more important. It's a waste of your buyer's time.
Yeah.
Because, they could have been looking in the market for a home for a while. So to, find something that they might have been excited about and then be let down, that's disappointing.
Yeah. And to say that, our job is definitely to highlight the homes in the best way possible. And I try to educate my sellers in order to, maybe it's a punch list, maybe it's whatever, but there are some things that you just can't get over. So you know what? You highlight the positives.
Yeah.
And you take it from there. But in this market, when something only has 2 pictures and there's no pictures on the inside, maybe there's a reason.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes you're pleasantly surprised.
Pleasantly surprised. Yeah, I think, did I read this or did someone tell me this? That, they had reached out to the agent because there was no pictures or maybe just one picture and they wanted to know why. And the agent said, well, I honestly, it's going to be gone tomorrow. So,
Why bother?
Why bother putting pictures up? I know. Wild. Wild.
Yeah.
I don't know, because it's your job.
Well, we talked about that in our meeting the other day. My favorite person, Trish Flynn, tells me all the time that it's, we got to do our job.
Yeah, that's why you get
It's a job
balloons for your
interview.
open house. It's a job interview. It is, and you never know who's going to walk through that door, And this is for the real estate agents. You never know who's going to walk through the door of your open house.
Could be your next $1 million listing.
$1 million listing. Ryan Serhunt. I really like him. Remember when we saw him?
Love him.
Love him. We took a picture with him and everything. If you'd like,
we got to pull that up.
if you like Ryan Serhan, go to Boston Connect Real Estate's Instagram page and you can find our picture.
No, we should put that as our cover page.
Oh,
Just
we
for a
should.
moment.
We should. Oh, we didn't mention tonight, but Mary Baker is off tonight. She does join us every single week, but she has tonight off, and
She
we
needs
hope
it.
she needs it. We all need a little break every once in a while. So, Kristen, will you cover for me next week?
You got it.
But okay, we only have about 3 minutes left. Let's sort of fly through these pros because we're trying to end on a positive note here. So there's less inventory, which is a pro for you because buyers could be more motivated in the winter months because they might have been exhausting themselves.
And let's face it, the buyers that are out now are motivated buyers. If they're going out in 0-degree weather, a couple of weeks ago when it was freezing, we sat outside an open house and had to wait to get in. So if people are waiting, they're serious buyers. So, take advantage of that.
Take advantage of that. Also, a lot of relocating buyers. because of, job opportunities and that kind of stuff. So, well, we have always said that, higher price homes tend to sell in the winter months because it's mostly relocating people that come and scoop them up.
You're 100% right.
Thank you so much. Honestly, I get it from Sharon, so that's all Sharon. I'm taking the credit for it, but it's all Sharon. She has said it for years on the show, and I think that it's still true that a lot of relocating people, they might stay in a place for a couple years, but then they move on to something else. So they come in and they scoop up a house, and that's where they stay. But I can hear the music. Kristen, give your phone number one more time to all of our listeners.
617-448-4896.
Thank you so much, everybody. We are live every Tuesday night. Thank you so much. And if you want to get in touch with any of our agents, Kristen, Sharon, or Mary, or myself, you can give Boston Connect a call, 781-826-8000. Have a great night.
And wait, check our Ryan Serhant picture. Give it a like.
Give it a like.